Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, and a very special welcome to our new author, Jennifer Melvin. Hi, Jennifer.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Hi. Well, what an exciting day. It's your book launch day. How are you feeling?
So excited. It's finally here. Can't wait.
Yes. Please tell everybody the title of your book and show them the cover.
Okay. This is Camilla the Chameleon's Colorful Day.
Beautiful, beautiful. I have to tell you, I was very impressed with the story, and I love the illustrations and all the colors throughout the book. Jennifer, yeah, can you tell us what inspired you to write this book?
Well, I've worked in public education for over 25 years. So the inspiration for this book is really all of the students that I've worked with through the years. A lot of the students had troubles making bad choices at school behaviorally, and we would try to use restorative discipline to bring them back to learn from their mistakes. And a lot of the younger children, I'm in elementary school, struggled to be able to name what they were feeling or why they did what they did, why they made the poor choice. So I was going through some grief coaching myself and learned about the 90-second rule, which is
Mm.
something that your brain really only feels a feeling for 90 seconds. So if you can learn to feel your feeling and kind of move through it instead of getting stuck in the loop, then you can make some better choices after you have those feelings. So I wanted kids to understand that it's okay to feel whatever they're feeling, that the feeling's not bad, but sometimes the choices that we make afterwards aren't good choices.
Oh, good. That's so interesting. So great. And you put that into a children's book. So can you tell everybody what is the book about and who it's for?
So it's written for ages 6 through 8, but really anyone in elementary school could do a read aloud with this. And it's about the main character, Camilla, and her second grade class is going to be getting a new student. And that makes her scared and makes her worried that the new student won't like her because she changes colors when she has big emotions. So throughout the story, her friends help her to discover that we all are unique and we all feel feelings and it's okay. And so hopefully, the next step would be that the teacher or the parent who was reading this with a child could talk through the emotions that they have and then maybe teach them some good strategies. Who knows, that might be Camilla's sequel of what to do after you feel those big emotions.
Yes, yes. Well, you put all of this in such a fun story. Like truly, I want to tell you, I had fun reading the story, her
Thank you.
going through all the different the color changes, what she's feeling, and then all the friends that are coming up with their own thing. It was well written.
Thank you.
Congratulations. What is it that you hope that parents and kids will take away from this book?
Well, I hope that they can see themselves in some of the characters and see that it's human. We all feel feelings. We're all going to be mad sometimes. We're all going to be sad sometimes, but that we can control how we react to those things. So,
Mhm.
open communication and dialogue between the adult that's trusted with that child is going to help them move forward. So, that's what my hope is.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. And I want to just tell all of our viewers right now, this book is available on Amazon today. So go there, grab a copy of this book, several copies, share it with the kids in your life. Camilla the Chameleon's Colorful Day is going to be a story that your children are going to want to read over and over again. It's that type of book. It's so fun, so colorful. Tell me a little bit about your illustrator because she did a beautiful job.
She is absolutely a blessing. Her name's Nadia, and she's from Ecuador, which I thought was amazing because that is where a chameleon might naturally habitat. So
Mm,
she has lots of experience, but she decided to come and work with independent authors because she wanted a closer relationship with the author. She felt a little disconnected at the larger companies she worked with. So she brings that experience, but then wanted to have a closer relationship. So we would Zoom and talk about characters, we would talk about the colors, and she was just a blessing for me through this process.
that's so great. So good. You attracted such a good, talented artist.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about your journey into becoming an author. First of all, how long have you been thinking I want to write a book for?
Since I was little, since I was a little girl, I've always wanted to publish a children's book. I love children's books. As a teacher, I've gravitated to using books whenever I can in the classroom. Um, but just here recently was when I thought, I do want to go into a publishing actually the stories that I've been writing. I'm getting close to retirement age, so I'm hoping for my next adventure that I can be working with as an author and go to schools to visit instead of being there every day.
Yes. Well, that'll be a different way to go into schools, still be connected with the kids, but in a different role. What a fun role that you get to do now. Go in with your book and share with the children. I always think teachers make the best storytellers to go back into the schools. Just from my own experience, that was what terrified me to stand in front of hundreds of children and read my story. At the beginning, that terrified me, but you're already used to that. You're already used to that. I just know you're going to have so much fun with that. What would you say was the biggest challenge when writing this book?
I would say one of the challenges was being concise in the wording,
Mm,
not being too wordy, keeping it within the range for a children's book, but also making sure that the characters were developed enough. And I was choosing vocabulary that was something that would be a challenging vocabulary word for an elementary school, but also that they would be able to read it and readability. So I would say that
mhm.
was what my biggest challenge was, but it was a huge help to have the editors and the author coaches and everyone give their perspective and give their ideas as we went through the whole process.
Yes, yes. And that is so important, right? To keep it concise so that you're not going to lose the children, that
Yeah.
they're going to sit there and want to hear the rest of the story. What about lessons, Jennifer? What would you say was the biggest lesson for you during the publishing process?
Kind of along the same lines is that it takes a village. Like you have to depend and be vulnerable and lean on each other through the process. Even from the very beginning, I had like 10 different manuscripts and I couldn't decide which one I wanted to publish first. And I sent out to all my educator friends and I sent out to my family, which book would you want to pick for your child? Which book would you want? So just putting yourself out there and being vulnerable and
Yes.
taking other people's advice through the process.
Yes. You're so right. It takes a village. We're not supposed to do this alone, even though most of us think, okay, an author is in their cabin or in their
Right.
room writing by themselves. But no, it takes a village, a lot of people. Um, that is a great lesson. And now, what is the best part of accomplishing this dream? You are an author today. You get to share your book with the world.
I know, that's amazing. It's to be excited about the next chapter of my life and not, life doesn't always work out the way that you think it's going to, but that there's still excitement and things that you can do. And the resiliency that I'm showing with my kids, my own personal kids, is what I'm
Yes.
proud of.
Yes, yes. And then sometimes would you agree that it works out even better? Right? We think we know the plan, but sometimes when there's a twist, it's a better twist in the end. Would you agree?
Gives you some different blessings than you had.
Yes, for sure. Different blessings. That's a good way to put it. All right. Well, we have a lot of aspiring children's book authors that watch our interviews. Now that you have published your book, what piece of advice do you have? What do you want to share with them?
Well, I tell my students and my own children, we are all authors. So my biggest thing is to keep writing, keep
Mhm.
telling your stories, keep journaling, because that's how you learn a lot about yourself. So as anyone, keep writing, keep inspiring your children to write. But if you want to be published, you really need to zone in and perfect your craft by getting into a class. So that helped me so much by entering the children's book publishing that
Yes.
I wouldn't have even known about the publishing mastermind if I wouldn't have done that class. So just continuing to take classes to get better at what
Mm-hmm.
you do.
That's a great piece of advice. Yes, we should always be learning and growing. Thank you for that, Jennifer. So, for sure today, book launch day, friends, go to Amazon and grab a copy of this book. It's there in the paperback format, the hardcover, and also ebook format. And Jennifer, besides going to Amazon, where else can they go find you?
All right. They can find me on Facebook at Jennifer Melvin Children's Author, on Instagram at Jennifer Melvin Books, and on my website, jennifermelvinbooks.com.
Excellent, excellent. And when you do start going into schools, I hope you start putting things on socials. We all want to see it. You on stage or you at the front of an auditorium, just reading and sharing this great book with children. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And before we go, Jennifer, is there anything you want to share or anything that you wish I would have asked you?
No, I just wanted to say thank you so much for this opportunity that you and your whole company have provided, and just the confidence that you've helped build along the way. And to all of those adults out there, teachers, parents, grandparents, to keep reading out loud with your kids. It's so
Mm.
priceless and so important. It builds your connection with that child, but also gives them confidence and independence to become a reader. So keep reading
Yes.
with kids.
That's beautiful. Beautiful. Well, friends, thank you so much for being here. There is the cover of the book. You know what to do. First of all, go buy a copy of the book and then go follow Jennifer on her socials. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Jennifer.